Hey everyone, welcome to Assembly Hall, or as I like to call it, Jeff Howard Arena in Bloomington for Inside Indiana Overtime. I'm Alex McCarthy with Inside Indiana, of course, here from Assembly Hall, where Jeff Howard got his first career start for Indiana in IU's 77-46 win over Evansville. And when IU posted that its starters, everyone just was kind of taken aback that Jeff Howard, who's been on the bench for the first 110 games of his career, comes out his senior year and starts tonight against Evansville and played pretty well. Coach Crean or Tom Crean said after the game that he really liked the energy and the on-court communication that he saw from Howard during practices the past couple of weeks, and chose to start him over Jeremy Hollowell tonight. Crean said that he didn't want to light a fire under Hollowell. I'm not sure if that's coach speak or if that's if that's entirely true, but if he did want to fire Jeremy Hollowell up, it definitely worked. Hollowell comes off the bench, scores 18 points, sets a career high with that, and he does it fairly efficiently. He only takes 8 shots to 8 field goals, I guess, or 8 field goal attempts to set that record. He goes 8 for 9 from the free throw line. Did a lot of his damage, especially in the second half from the line. He scored 10 second half points, and just kind of showed the aggressiveness that maybe a lot of people thought was missing from Hollowell's game. Where he took 5 3-pointers tonight and made 2 of them, but he also drove a lot and tried to get to the rim quite a bit, which worked perfectly for him. So he leads IU with 18 points. Noah Vonleh again kind of bounces back from what was obviously the worst performance of his very short career against UConn when he only played I think 10 minutes and had foul trouble the whole time. Tonight he picks up a foul a minute into the game, and he could have pulled back from there, and Crean could have sat him down, and he could have chose to play a little bit less aggressively, but he didn't. He comes back. Immediately I think gets a rebound on that possession or a couple of possessions later, and immediately continues to exert himself down low. And he ends up with his fifth double-double in 7 attempts with 13 points, 12 rebounds. And he looked like the Noah Vonleh that we saw here at Assembly Hall through the first 5 games. And just the guy who Indiana kind of wants to run his offense through or involve him at least on every play. So a couple good standout performances there. Yogi Ferrell also hits double digits. In scoring, he's only 4 for 12 from the field, which maybe isn't quite as efficient as you'd like to see him. But again, he had a couple big shots when Evansville started the second half strong. I think on like a 5-2 run to cut the deficit to 11 points. Ferrell goes out, hits a 3, and I think 11 was as close as Evansville got it throughout. And obviously, Indiana ends up with a 31-point victory. Holds Evansville under 50 points, which is actually holds Evansville, I think, to almost exactly half its scoring average for the season. They were averaging somewhere in the mid to low 90s and end up scoring 46 tonight. And if you look at the first, I think, 14 minutes of the game and then the last 10 minutes of the game, Evansville just could not possibly buy a basket. I mean, it was bizarre to see a team that's I think second in the nation coming into this game in field goal percentage. They come out and they start the game 2 for 17 from the floor, and I think 1 for 16 perhaps. But the first 14 and a half minutes they're 2 for 17 from the floor, and in the last 10 minutes and 9 seconds, I think they were something like 3 for 18 from the floor. So it was just a very bizarre. They were apparently very off their game tonight. For an offense that's usually, at least this year, has been very productive and very good. Their leading scorer, DJ Ballantyne, sophomore guard from Kokomo, had been averaging almost 30 points a game, hadn't scored fewer than 29 points in a game. Kind of a weird stat. In their first 4 games, he scored 20, in their first 5 games, he scored exactly 29 points 4 times and then 32 one time. It was just kind of a weird thing, but he comes nowhere close tonight. He scores 14 points. I think he was 2 for 10 in the first half, 5 for 17 overall. They were just able to pressure him, to double him off some ball screens, and really kind of prevent him. The scouting report going in was that they wanted to, with any dangerous scorer, you want to kind of stop him from even getting the ball And that's what they were able to do with him tonight. They limit him to, like I said, 5 for 17 from the floor, 0 for 5 from behind the arc, and just kind of make him as inefficient as they possibly could, and basically ineffective. So it was interesting to see to see Indiana be able to really clamp down on defense on a team that's legitimately a very good shooting team. I mean, you think, oh, it's only Evansville, it's not like a Syracuse or UConn or something, but it's a team that has proven that can score like crazy if you leave them open. And even when IU did leave them open a couple times tonight, they weren't able to string together any kind of runs or any kind of streaks. And Indiana just runs away with this game. It's the only game this week. It actually divides 3 games in the state of New York, which is kind of a weird thing for IU. They played obviously those 2 games last week in New York City. They played this game tonight, and then they with Thanksgiving and everything around that, they wait a week to play again. Next Tuesday they play at Syracuse, which is kind of probably the game that people kind of circle on their schedules, both because it's the Big Ten ACC Challenge, and obviously it's Syracuse, the team that knocked Indiana out in the Sweet 16 in March. So, tons of storylines there. Ron Patterson also plays for Syracuse, former IU commit, and we're going to have obviously a lot of build up to that. Obviously a lot of build up to Saturday's IU Purdue game. The football team is here tonight throwing out T-shirts, leading Beat Purdue cheers and stuff like that. So obviously we're going to have tons of coverage this week on the bucket game, and then as we get, as IU gets closer to traveling to Syracuse, we'll have coverage on that. So keep checking the site, and that's about it from Assembly Hall or Jeff Howard Arena. I'll start a petition to try and change that name, but we'll see. For now, it's Assembly Hall, and this has been Inside Indiana Overtime. I'm Alex McCarthy, and you have a great Thanksgiving.